Earlier this week, Love News had gotten reports of Guatemalan boats trailing Belize's military officers in the area of Cadenas in the southern portion of Belize. No incident or confrontation was reported, but concerns were expressed over the apparent need that the Guatemalans feel to trail Belize's soldiers when they are in the area. Love News asked BDF Commander David Jones if this concerns the BDF at all, and if it is the norm.
From time to time, the Guatemalan patrol would follow behind our patrol when they do their changeover in the Cadenas. Many occasions when we enter them out of the Sarstoon, they get into their vessel and they follow us probably a mile, 2 miles or so, and then they return back to their base. Sometimes they go all the way up to Cadenas and then come back. We both have equal rights to traverse through the Sarstoon River. So when they are a distance behind our boats, we don't view it as a concern. The reason why they do it, we can only speculate, but we're not sure. Now, soldiers go through there. They are given orders just to go and carry out the task, which is to do the changeover over at Cadenas, or to go at specific areas in the Sarstoon to do reconnaissance based on intelligence information if there's any illegal activity, either be it illegal plantation going on or illegal logwood cutting or poaching in the area. They're given that specific task. Anything other than that, if the Guatemalans seems to want to follow them about 100 meters, 200 or 300 meters away, they don't need to interfere.
With the soldiers doing their best to carry out their duties and maintain peace and civility at our borders, there is a concern regarding the territorial volunteers who have made several trips to our border areas and have continued to do so. As a matter of fact, they are planning a trek to that area of the Sarstoon Island for Sunday, August 16th. But the head of the Belize Defense Force, Commander David Jones, is advising against their plans.
If they would ask my advice, I would advise them not to go. The reason for this is because the border between Belize and Guatemala and the country of Belize has a territorial dispute with Guatemala. They have professed that the country, perhaps half of the country belongs to them. At times they profess that the entire country belongs to them. And that area in particular near the Sarstoon, they are contesting that the island has never been in dispute. Our version of what we know is that the Sarstoon Island belongs to Belize. They have a different view. It doesn't make sense to have a confrontation over the issue. It's better for the foreign affairs try and work out that problem. The Belize Defense Force has a long-standing relationship with the Guatemalan Armed Forces. We have excellent relations with them. When we do operations along the border, we discuss it with each other, we share intelligence, we share information, and at times we even work jointly. Now, having the territorial volunteers go out there will only aggravate a situation with the Guatemalan Armed Forces, because their foreign affairs contest that the Sarstoon Island has never been in dispute. We are of a different view. But it doesn't make sense for them to go there to try and aggravate a situation to the point where they may want to see a military confrontation. It doesn't make sense. It's better for the people who have been elected to deal with such a situation and don't have our own civilians put our security forces at risk trying to escalate a situation for our military to have confrontation. It doesn't make sense. They will only put our security forces at risk and will jeopardize the relationship that our foreign affairs have had with Guatemala, and also jeopardize the relationship that military to military we share with each other. We are working well with each other without having anyone trying to aggravate the situation or trying to escalate a situation or a media event to see it goes to the point where there may be a military escalation. It doesn't make sense. So I would advise them not to go there, but to sit and discuss it with us privately, and perhaps they could listen to our advice.
Have anybody from the volunteers requested your accompaniment?
No, recently they have not.
But basically, I guess the force will be on alert for when they do go to the Sarstoon Island.
Well, not really, because that's an issue for foreign affairs. It's a border dispute between two countries. It doesn't make sense for us to put military there to show force against the Guatemalan military. It doesn't make sense. You can do things in a smarter way, and having them going over at the Sarstoon, I don't think is the best way to try and resolve that issue, because our civilians going there will not change the mind of the Guatemalan in regards to the dispute that has been there over 150 years.
Love News understands that the group of volunteers planning to go to that area of the Sarstoon Island next week is from the Belize Territorial Volunteers. A public invitation has been issued on social media for volunteers. Just